Bulletcast for life.
Get up! This is a revolution! This is our time to rise! Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I am a 25-year-old piece of gold, the messiah of the microphone, and the greatest sports recreational podcast in the world today. And of course, I am one half of the current reigning, defending, undisputed Bulletcast champion. But I never do it alone. He's my tag team partner, the Jim and my J, the Teller to my Arn, the Stevie Ray to my Booker T. Ladies and gentlemen, host of the award-winning Under the Radar, host and creator of Curveballs and Chair Shots, BT Brandon Tan Goma. Brandon, it's Thursday. You know what that means. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing just fine. Phillip, how are you doing today? I heard you had to go to the tax man, take care of the financials. Everything in order. IRS ain't coming for you?
I'm going to be dripping in gold. Let's just say that. But yeah, man, I'm doing good. Had to go to the tax man. We were recording this a couple hours later, so that's why it will have be released a couple hours later. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here to cover everything in wrestling. We have some good news, some exciting news, some sad news. We're going to talk about it all. But before we get into that, we have to promote HD for Life on Teesprings, or I think it's just spring.com now. I think that's the official Teespring's name now that they switched up on us. But ladies and gentlemen, HD for Life, it's a new graffiti company by a good buddy of mine. Listen, they have so many designs. Get Her Done 1 and 2, H-Dog, Mother's Love. Mother's Day is coming up in a few months. You might want to get your mother that one. They have Hurry Up 1 and 2, King H-Dog, H-Dog dash Get It, Mr. Pimpin', Mr. Sapo, HD for Life Americana, Common Sense, Soldier H-Dog, and of course Life Safety. So many things to choose from. Hoodies, t-shirts, sweatpants, tank tops, face masks, tote bags, and more. Ladies and gentlemen, HD for Life on spring.com. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss it. It's some really great work. Yes, sir?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, probably one of the best promoters in the game besides Vinnie Mac. Jim Crockett Jr. has passed away yesterday at the age of 76. Now, of course, he's responsible for what people consider the true golden era of wrestling, and we're not talking about the Hulkamania era. We're talking about Jim Crockett Promotions hailing in from the Turner Studios. I mean, you had Jimmy Valiant, you had Rick Rude, you had the Road Warriors, you had Barry Windham, the Horsemen, you had Flair, Arn, Tully, J.J. Dillon, everybody on camera getting in the ring with each other, man. It's sad. It really is, you know. You forget about I think he kind of gets lost in the shuffle, because when we talk about that era, we normally talk about like the Horsemen, but we don't talk about the promoter, the guy behind the scenes doing this. I mean, hell, he took a jobber in Ronnie Garvin and made him the world heavyweight champion. So, I mean, just a legendary run, hailing from Turner Studios. Major house shows would happen in the Greensboro Auditorium or the Omni in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, top feuds, you had Tully Blanchard versus Arn Anderson, and they had an I Quit match for the U.S. title. They talked about that on Dynamite. You had the Russians versus the Road Warriors, Rock and Roll Express versus the Midnight Express, Jimmy Valiant versus Paul Jones. I mean, and of course the Horsemen. We all know the history there. I mean, Rick, Tully, Arn. People say Ole, but I prefer Wyndham. I prefer that era of the Horsemen with J.J. Dillon. Just a magical time, man.
Yeah, sad news. We kind of learned over the weekend that he was in grave condition. And unfortunately, yesterday it came out that he did pass away. Yeah, I mean, you kind of summed it up perfectly. We talk more about the wrestlers, maybe as we should, but we kind of talk about Ted Turner when it comes to WCW and the Nitro era, but then when it comes to the mid to late 80s and that era of NWA, WCW times, we don't talk about Jim Crockett we say Jim Crockett Promotions, but we don't really think of like the man behind the name. And this is unfortunately one of the times that when someone passes away, it's a best time to delve in, learn your history, especially if maybe you have a little blind spot for that place. If you're more of a WWF person, definitely check it out. I mean, you got Vince McMahon, Greg Gagne, you got Jim Crockett Jr., just, three sons that were able to take the ball and run with it when they were able to, be the head of the table, one might say.
Could we throw Jeff Jarrett in there also with TNA?
I mean, I guess we got to throw Jeff Jarrett in there.
TNA had
Okay.
they had a good run, bro. They had a good run. They did. We can't lie. TNA was on the ish for a while, but yeah, it's sad, man. I mean, he retired in 94 and he enjoyed his retirement. What a 26, 27 year retirement up until the time of his death yesterday.
And he's really like been under the radar since then. I know maybe he did something with StarCast.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, maybe one of these days is coming back. But yeah, I think he maybe did something with StarCast or Conrad like last year or the year before. But for the most part, he really hasn't been out in the public eye, and kind of sad. I mean, if that's what he wants to do, all power to him. But I think that's maybe one of the other reasons why people don't really talk about him all that much.
Yeah, man. Magnum TA, he put out a post on Instagram, thanking him for helping him elevate to the stardom in which he acquired in the short time that he was in the business before the accident that caused him to no longer compete in the ring. And yeah, man, I mean, you hear people talk fondly about that run that Magnum TA had. I mean, people talk about the Intercontinental title and the feuds that have happened with that U.S. Championship, man. Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard going after it for the U.S. title. That's a credit to Jim Crockett and the vision he saw for those two talents. Yeah,
I mean, two legendary, maybe underappreciated wrestlers. Kind of the mid card of NWA Mid Atlantic, and just sad times. But you got to think of the positives and look at the bright side and all the positives that the man brought to the world.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, sir, for your years of service and putting on some amazing wrestling content. Love it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, really big news. NXT moves to Tuesday nights. I think it's April 14th. April 14th is when NXT moves to Tuesday nights. And so, ironic, if they had gone a week later, it would have been 83 weeks in the quote-unquote Wednesday Night War, but it's going to be 82 weeks. So, Brandon, you're the NXT guy. How do you feel about this? So did AEW, did they win? Did the demo god do his job?
I guess if you want to be technical, you could say that AEW did win the Wednesday Night Wars, but no disrespect to Impact. They have Tuesdays. They have their show on Tuesday, so now we get a Tuesday Night War.
NWA's coming back, dude. I think they're gonna get more views than Impact. I'm just being real.
I mean, I can't just sit here and say NXT has Tuesday all to themselves, but there's so much wrestling, especially now that NWA is coming back. We're seeing MLW is around. And I mean, there's really not like a set day except for maybe Monday and Wednesday, and now maybe on Monday and Friday to where, you have the entire day to yourself. So NXT, I mean, back in the Monday Night War days, I know Vince McMahon kind of admitted that he wasn't afraid to blink. If he had to move Raw to another night to survive, then he will do that. Not saying NXT is draining money from WWE and they're going to go broke because they're losing this quote unquote war. But I think you look around for the most part, besides like a few of the bigger NXT shows, AEW has consistently beat them in their ratings. And I mean, I don't know what this means for behind the scenes, if Triple H is looked at as a failure or something or another like that. But I mean, it's exciting for maybe me personally, because I know for me, I watch AEW before I watch NXT, and now to have NXT on Tuesday have quote unquote its own night to itself, I can, watch that on its own and not have to worry about jumping back and forth and doing everything like that. But it's big news, but they haven't officially said anything yet.
Well, what if NXT would just jump to Saturday nights? What if they did that? Kind of go with the old 605 and like WCW Saturday Night 605 Live. What if they did
something? It's a possibility, like, and I wouldn't rule out them going exclusively to the network on Peacock.
That'd be interesting. I mean, this week, the week in April, this is going to be interesting. April 7th, NXT and AEW Dynamite. April 8th, you have NXT TakeOver. So that's our next takeover. April 9th is going to be SmackDown. April 10th and 11th, WrestleMania's Night 1 and 2. April 12th, you have Raw and AEW Elevation. April 13th, you have the debut of NXT on Tuesday night. You have Impact, you have NWA, and of course AEW Dark. And then the 14th will be AEW Dynamite. That's a dynamite week. That's a stacked week. We're going to be doing a lot of coverage.
And not only that, there's some indies. We have WrestleMania weekend, and whether you agree with it or not, there will be some indie shows running around that time as well.
Making an appearance again. Yeah, we're going to talk about all that. I've been trying to break a lot of more news on the Bulletcast Instagram. Have you been catching that, Brandon?
I've been catching that, didn't you? You get all the news. It's not just a picture. You get the full rundown. You don't got to read it if you don't want to, but it gives you all the info that you need. You can get a little bit on the first line, but if you want some more, you can read the whole thing.
I get breakdowns of things like this, the Vince McMahon Netflix docu-series, somebody selling a 30-year-old piece of gum that was in the mouth of Mr. Perfect. Anything. You get it all. Brandon, are you going to buy this piece of gum, though? Letter of authenticity, you're going to buy it?
That's a hard pass for me.
So you don't want gum that it's a perfect piece of gum.
It is a perfect piece of gum. I think I can do a little bit more with my money than buy a used piece of gum.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, let's say if your favorite athlete, like, let's say if this was a piece of gum from your favorite athlete, would you do it?
I'm not buying a piece of gum that Dwayne Wade has chewed up. Now, if there's a pair of shoes that's Dwayne Wade's worn and it's game used, that's a different story. But gum,
but they stink. They stink. They're not washed. They smell atrocious. You buying them?
Well, I got my fair share of things. I got my little pill. It's make it
Pill.
You shake it up and you throw it in there, make it smell good. I'm the sneaker guy, so I know how to make it. I know people might not agree with this, but I do have some used shoes in my collection. You just throw some things in there, you make them, gussied up, and you make them pretty, make them smell good. I'm not sticking my nose in it to smell them, but
okay. But Dwayne Wade's, let's just say hypothetically, I'm sure he has glorious feet. I'm sure they smell great. But hypothetically, let's say you buy these shoes, you try everything in the world, but there's still that hint of funk. You still rocking with these?
I'm not wearing them because I don't wear the same size, but I'll just throw them in a glass case and say, bam.
You're not trying them on?
Let's see. I'm pretty sure me and
Dwayne,
like,
if I had some of Shawn Michaels' boots, I'd try them on. I'm just saying. I'd do it. I'd try.
I guess I would try them on, but I'm not like running around and hooping in them.
No,
size
absolutely.
15. So my size 11 foot when not.
You're an 11. You're an 11.
Yes,
You're an 11. Wow. My Crocs are an 11, but my regular shoes are a 10 and a half, boys.
And Steph Curry 13 and a half. He got them small feet.
Oh man. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Oh God. Well, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, to SmackDown. So Daniel Bryan wrestled Jey Uso for an opportunity to face Roman Reigns at Fastlane for the Universal title. They were both counted out. So this coming Friday, tomorrow, Daniel Bryan faces Jey Uso in a cage match. He wins that. He goes to Fastlane to face Roman Reigns, the head of the table for the Universal Championship.
We seemingly are on the fast lane to a Roman Reigns Daniel Bryan match. It's maybe not the way I would have had it. I think I would have maybe saved it to maybe mean a little bit more and maybe be like a marquee match instead of just kind of a speed bump to Edge and Roman. We have Cesaro kind of in the background. We don't exactly know what he's doing, but maybe this kind of shows signs that Daniel Bryan's on his way out. Not saying he's going to AEW by any means, but maybe this is him. His contract's running up. He wants to be a daddy. He's going to be more part-time, and they see we can always use Daniel Bryan and Roman later on down the line, but if we want to get something out of him right now, we can have the match right now.
Is Daniel Bryan a roadblock to Edge's dream match with Roman Reigns?
One might say.
See, roadblock, speed bump, fast lane. This is why we do this. This is why we're so good at what we do. This is why we're the world champion together. That's exactly why. You know what, Brandon? Should we just retire the title? Should we just do that? We could, you'll be the first ever. We could both be the last ever. Should we do that?
But we're still the champions forever.
Exactly. Like Ezekiel Jackson, he's still the ECW champion.
Maybe. I know it might ruffle some feathers, so maybe got a good.
It might ruffle some feathers. We're going to talk about that. All right, Bianca Belair, the EST of WWE, has made her choice. She and Sasha Banks, the Blueprint, the SmackDown Women's Champion, are going to collide at WrestleMania. This needs to main event one of the two nights. Let's do it, man. Representation matters. There's something going on. We're going to talk about Monday Night Raw and the glorious thing that happened, but there's something going on right now with African-American talent in the world of professional wrestling. Let's do it, man. Give them 25, 30 minutes bell time and let them knock it out of the park.
I agree with you. I would maybe think that Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair having the first ever, black women's main event, maybe even I think probably black main event ever in WrestleMania history.
let me tell you something, Brandon. Let me let you in real quick. You know when's the last time two black people main evented a high key pay per view?
The Rock and R-Truth in that mixed tag in that tag match at Survivor Series.
No,
Dang it.
no. SummerSlam '01, Rock versus Booker T. You know when's the last time African American women main evented a show at all?
1964.
You're close. It's like 1955. Ethel Johnson or James, I keep forgetting the name. Her and three other women were in a fatal four-way, and the promoter didn't know what to do, so he just threw them out there, and they apparently they stole the show. So this is big, man. You know, this is awesome. In a time where we have Kamala Harris as our Madam Vice President, and then these two African American women being presented on the highest stage, this is something awesome.
Yeah, and I hope they don't like pander and like go over that too much, because then it can be WWE and it feels like they're milking it a little bit. But also WWE likes to do the 50-50 booking of, if SmackDown is going to have Edge and Roman one night, are they going to give SmackDown both nights? Do they want to give one to Raw, one to SmackDown? I'm not saying it's right. I'm just kind of going through their thinking of not wanting to play favorites, even though SmackDown is on Fox. It's the bigger show. It's getting better ratings. People like it more. And for the history books, I think it makes sense, but I could see them. I mean, it's WWE. They say there's multiple main events at WrestleMania, so they can have it be the middle show, the middle match on night 1 or 2, but they'll still call it a main event.
Yeah, it's possible, man. It could be in the Steamboat Savage slot, middle of the card, and steal the show. That's a possibility. That is a great possibility. I'm excited for what these two women are going to do. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the new Apollo. So Apollo Crews attacked Big E a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. He was stretchered out, and now we see the Nigerian flag. The Nigerian flag colors on Apollo's new gear, the green and the white. You know, this is him now. Uha Nation. We're seeing why he was so important. But here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Why did it take this long for us to truly care about Apollo Crews?
I feel like the entire time on this podcast, I have been saying Apollo Crews, if you give him the opportunity, he might not be The Rock and be able to talk for 20 minutes and keep you entertained. But the man can talk. We all know he can wrestle. I have, just like the Becky Lynch bandwagon, I have been leading the Apollo Crews bandwagon ever since he had that NXT title match against Finn Balor, however long ago that was.
That was like 6 years ago.
And I told you, he had a phenomenal interview, and I was like, man, I know he doesn't get the opportunity. He might not be the stereotypical talker in WWE, but dang it, give him the ball and he can run with it.
Yeah, man, I caught wind of Uha Nation like I think 3 or 4 months before he signed with WWE. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Who is this guy? And then we've been waiting, man, because like he debuts the night after 32, after Mania 32. So, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. It's coming up on 5 years. Coming up on 5 years on the main roster. And here's the thing, Brandon. How long should it take somebody to reach the top once they hit the main roster? Yeah, give me a time frame. How long do you think?
It should take them a year at most. If you
like,
look at
I'm talking about to reach the world championship.
Maybe 2 years at the very most.
I'm glad you said that. Sam Roberts talked about this on Monday on his show. Steve Austin debuts as the Ringmaster in 96. March of 98, he beats Shawn Michaels. He's WWE champion. The Rock debuts at 96 as Rocky Maivia. By 98, he's the corporate champion. Now, Mick Foley took him a little longer, 3 years. He debuts in 96. 99, he's champion. Hell, Kurt Angle, less than 2 years. Less than 2 years, he's the WWE champion.
John Cena around 2 years. Brock Lesnar a little quicker, but kind of in that same time frame.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at. That's not the case anymore. You look at Big E. How long has he been on the main roster? Like 7 or 8 years. Now he's finally starting to get that little rub. Kofi was in the company for like 11 years, and he's finally got there. Is this just the new normal for getting people to the top now? Because there is a time window. Like Cesaro, when it finally happens, if it does happen, okay, cool, it's about damn time. But it should have happened 5 years ago. The same with Bobby Lashley. It should have happened 10, 15 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I've been saying that for pretty much every NXT call-up that they've had. Thus far, they haven't royally screwed up Keith Lee, but they're kind of teetering on that, and they have just completely butchered Matt Riddle. I know everything with the backstage stuff, but I mean, and you can go on and on and on. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn.
Here's my thing about Riddle. He can be goofy outside of the ring, but RVD, he was like goofy outside of the ring. He was a badass in between them ropes. Matt Riddle can be the same thing. He could be a goofy pothead, because we all know that's his character. He can be a goofy pothead outside of the ring, but inside of that ring, he can be a killer. He can be a stone cold killer. It's possible to do, man. Like Ronda Rousey, she seems like a happy-go-lucky chick. When that bell rang and she was in that octagon, she was whooping that ass.
I agree with you. Sometimes you have such talent, but yet if you wait too long, you can still get them there, but it's just not going to be the same as if you did it to begin with.
Same with Muhammad Ali, a charismatic, smooth trash talker. But Cassius Clay, he was bad in between them ropes. Yes, sir. You can do the same with Matt Riddle. You can do the same with a lot of these guys. Yeah, we should have a full podcast breakdown about every NXT call up and see where they are now, who panned out and who really didn't. We should do that, Brandon.
I might cry.
Oh God, yeah. So outside of the ring, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, he thinks Okada would be fantastic in WWE. Okada's like 33, 32. Could you see the Rainmaker eventually at some point in time working for World Wrestling Entertainment?
Honestly, no. Because Okada is the top dog. I know he's not the champion right now, but he is the ace of New Japan. And I think one of the reasons you can kind of compare it to Shinsuke. Shinsuke was never going to be the top guy in the company. There was always going to be Tanahashi, and Okada was on his heels. And I feel as though Okada, unless there's something that happens between him and Gedo or something else happens, or WWE just throws him too much money for him not to refuse it, I don't think he would ever go to WWE. Now, if he were to show up and he was motivated and he wanted to do something more than what Shinsuke has shown us, absolutely. I know. His English isn't that bad. I think Shinsuke's English is better, but he's so charismatic. He's so great in the ring. If you don't try to hold him down and try to pigeonhole him, Okada right now is, I would say, the best wrestler in the world. So I think anywhere he wrestles, he will translate.
We had this discussion about best wrestler in the world last week. I feel like we did.
Well, who's your vote? Oh, whoever the WWE champion is. So it's Bobby Lashley, right?
Bro, Jim Ross said it best. I feel like whoever the best in the world is the WWE champion. He wasn't even working for the company at the time. Yeah. That's when he was doing commentary for New Japan on Access. Yeah. But Okada, he's at a god tier level. I can say it. Okada brings something different to the fold, man. The one time I saw Okada live, he was doing that balloon stuff when we at the Cow Palace. I'm like, what is this? This isn't the Rainmaker. I need to see badass Rainmaker Okada live real quick.
He was going through a quarter life crisis. We've all been there.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus. So I'm 25. I'm gonna have one of those before I turn 26.
Yeah, unfortunately, it happens.
Maybe what was yours?
Don't talk about it.
Tell me off air, but maybe I'll dye my hair blonde or something. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, The Miz was on Oral Sessions with Renee Young. He talked about winning the WWE title. He said he thought I'd never have this again, and he talked about what it meant to him. He talked about the reception of it. Have you heard this? Yes, no, probably not.
Of course I saw this, Phillip. I see everything.
So what did you think about it?
It was okay.
It was just okay? It was just all right?
It was all right.
It was all right.
Oh, was it awesome?
Everything that man does is awesome. Do you know why?
Why?
Because he's the Miz. I can't do it justice. I'm not even gonna try to do it. Shout out Miz though. It was a really great listen. The whole video interview was on YouTube. Just go to her YouTube channel and you can find it, man. It was really good. Vicky Guerrero from Housewife to Superstar. She's gonna be releasing a tell-all book coming up. It's going to be released either August or September of this year. Talks about her life with Eddie. Talks about how she got involved in the business, becoming a general manager, and her career basically from then all the way up to AEW. She talked about this on the AEW Unrestricted podcast. You interested to read a Vicky Guerrero book?
Sounds like an interesting read from someone. I don't even know if I can think of one who went from being the wife to being the superstar, which that's an interesting transition. And if there's no agendas, nothing, then I'm probably not going to read it, but I'd be interested to see a review on it, maybe hear some stories from it.
She only wanted to do 2 months, and here we are, 16 years later? Isn't that crazy?
And she's working for the competition.
Yes, absolutely. She also, you know what her favorite Eddie match is?
The Dominic ladder match.
Her and Eddie in bed. That's what this is what she said. These are her words, and I'm like,
Vicky Guerrero is one of the only people on this planet to get legitimate comeuppance on Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah, hey, she's a Guerrero. Guerreros do it best. Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, WrestleCon returns, WrestleMania weekend. What are your thoughts on that, bud?
Me personally,
it's in Florida. You know they don't have any rules.
Of course. I mean, if they went to Texas, ooh,
Everything's
just go. Everything's just go. They literally have no rules in Texas.
They don't. Georgia's starting to have no rules either. California, we're about to allow indoor sports to take place. Once again, that news broke earlier today. I don't know, man. If they can do it safely, okay then. You know, that's all I say. If this can be done safely, okay.
I don't know what safely is.
Honestly, you know what? Only let vaccinated fans in. That's what I would do. For all these events coming up, I'd only let vaccinated fans in. That's what I would do.
But at this point, all the vaccinated people are like workers.
Well, that is true. All the vaccinated people are workers. Or maybe you could break it off. Vaccinated people here. Or, I don't know. I feel like there's a way you can do it. Just be safe, Make sure everybody's wearing a mask. Make sure they wear them properly. None of that having your nose exposed and all that other stuff. No walking into a gas station and just having it on your ear like a Dumas,
Having your nose exposed with a mask on is like having your thingy out while wearing pants. It defeats the purpose.
Absolutely. See, that's why I keep Brandon around for moments like that. All right, Joey Ryan wrestling charity event for women. So this was circulating around a couple of days ago, and a lot of people were booked. I think Masters and Carlito were booked. And then once word got out that Joey Ryan was promoting this, the whole thing fell apart.
Yeah, I haven't looked too deep into it, but I kind of know the surface level things. This also happened, I think, with Progress, not with Joey Ryan, but people. There was a person who was involved with the speaking out movement that was one of the agents there. And we're seeing now that shows are starting to come back, people are maybe rightfully so, getting work when maybe they shouldn't be getting work. And people kind of questioned what exactly the charity was going, what charity were they doing? They're asking like legitimate questions. If we're paying for something that's going to charity, can we at least know where our money's going? And everything kind of fell apart. And the Joey Ryan situation was just kind of the ugly cherry on top of all this. And they just, I think the thing was definitely that it was Bar Wrestling. Joey Ryan's now defunct promotion was kind of behind the show. And once that came out, then just, as you said, everything fell through.
Yeah, man. I mean, we've talked about that video. I don't think Brandon's actually watched the whole thing. I did when it first dropped. And it's a tough conversation to have, man. I mean, the guy provided proof for everything. He provided DMs and text messages and receipts and stuff, and I'm like, wow. And none of the women have combated it, so I'm like, what's who do you truly believe? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe sometimes you just lay low and not try to attack the victims.
He's not he wasn't attacking them. He was like, "Hey, this is what happened. Here is the proof." That's all he did. He didn't like, "You are a liar." He didn't go that far. He wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do anything crazy like that. He was like, "Hey, this is my account for what happened. Here is the message that we sent. Here is the receipt for the dinner that we had on said night," and so on and so forth. Kind of like a briefing or a hearing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, sticking with some awkward scenarios, we have Marty Scurll. I don't know if we talked about it. He was backstage for the New Japan Strong show. People were speculating, what does this mean? People were kind of angry with New Japan of possibly him coming to the promotion, but now it has come out that Marty Scurll will not be with New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think this is definitely a good move from New Japan. I know he's a talented wrestler. I enjoyed him back in the day, but I just don't think this is the time and place right now to hire Marty Scurll for New Japan.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah. Mm-mm. It's a shame, man. A very talented guy. He got over with the Elite. You know, he was probably the most charismatic dude in the Elite. I could say that. You know, I expected big things from Marty, but hey, man, we'll see. We'll see if time will heal that said wound. All right, John Moxley defeats Kenta to retain the IWGP United States Championship.
Yes, he did. This match, I believe, was taped all the way back in December, which is kind of surprising that they were able to keep a lid on this. Nobody leaked it, which shout out to New Japan, not leaking the information. And the match, I thought it was good. It was a tad bit disappointing. They were wrestling in their dojo, no fans, no nothing, which I do believe did take it down a notch, especially when you go off of the kind of insane tag hardcore match they had at Dynamite, and then you pair that with a similarly violent, maybe even less violent match, and there's no crowd to really give it that gusto that I think it should have. I think it did hurt the match a tad bit, but I think just the bigger news overall is Moxley continues to be the United States champion. Now, baby on the way, he has a death match coming up. Is that a way to write him off? Possibly tape some more things for New Japan while he goes on paternity leave? I don't know. We have to stay tuned and find out.
We will have to stay tuned and find out. All right, the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental Championships are going to be unified. A new lineage will start whenever they debut the new championship. So, I mean, Intercontinental title, MVP was the first dude to hold that one. Shout out to him. You know, a couple other guys have held it that I like. You know, like a Chris Jericho or a Shinsuke Nakamura. The heavyweight title. I mean, you know the lineage: Vader, Brock, AJ, Kenny, Okada. Some dominant guys have held that thing. So we're just gonna start a new lineage. When the WWE and the WCW title came together, it was the WWE title that lineage continued. I don't understand.
I'm not a New Japan historian. I'm not on the committee. I don't know how that all works. But just in my mind, I work it out the same way. There's the IC title. There's the world title. They have their own lineage. Then it converts. It stops right there. Doesn't mean that history will be erased by any means. But then now there's a new history with a new title. Just by a new name.
Yeah.
Which I say once again, less titles the better. I'm happy that the IC title is gone. The never open weight title has replaced it as kind of that secondary title that means quite a bit. So now that they have they have the King of Pro Wrestling, I don't even know if it's a title, moniker, trophy, something or another. I don't know.
Well, yeah, back in the day before actual championships, they had to carry around trophies. So that's probably what's going on there.
Dang, that must be not a fun time to go through TSA with that thing.
I mean, I'm talking about this is like back in the 40s and 50s. They were just driving they weren't flying with trophies. Come on now.
How do you know? Were you there?
I'm a historian of this business, Brandon. You already know this, man.
Okay.
You already know. I was looking for a NSYNC bye 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 meme. Or GIF, I'm sorry. I apologize. Somebody said bye to me and I was like, ooh, this is the perfect time. Brandon, first concert you went to NSYNC, right?
If I want to be technical, when I was a fetus inside my mother's uterus, I went to a Pink Floyd concert.
Wow. But as a living, breathing being, it was NSYNC, right?
Correct.
Bye 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 bye. What's your favorite NSYNC song, Brandon? I might get you something for your birthday. Let me know now.
Pop.
Oh, that's a powerful song. Speaking of powerful, ladies and gentlemen, NWA Power is returning. They will resume tapings, and they were having a pay-per-view on Fight TV March 21st. You will see the NWA World's Champion Nick Aldis in action, and others. What are your thoughts on NWA coming back, man?
Good for them. We've been waiting a long time to see what they will be doing, but unfortunately, a lot of their talent has left. We have Eli Drake now in NXT, Thunder Rosa seemingly doing some more things with AEW, and on and on and on. A lot of the people that were vital parts, Cole Cabana and other people that were on Power and NWA, have kind of left the promotion now. Not saying they're not going to have nobody. I would assume they're going to have some talent and they're going to scrounge together and make a good show out of it. But they had a lot of momentum in 2019, and the pandemic hit, and it just all kind of got squashed. And I'm rooting for them. Hopefully they can make something out of this, but they're in a tough spot.
They are in a tough spot. I don't know what Billy Corgan is going to do. Hopefully that they get back on track. I like NWA. They were doing some good things. Nick Aldis, is he the longest champion in wrestling right now? Longest held. He won in October of 2018. So yeah.
I was going to say Walter, but I guess I think Walter won it after that.
Yeah, he won in 2019. Yeah, so that's interesting, man. All right, Aldis. No, he claims to be the real world champion. Let's see what he's going to do once NWA comes back. Mark Henry wants one more match. Yes, the world's strongest man talked about this. He said Big Show has competed in 5 decades. I can't let him have that over me. I need one more in this decade. He said he feels pretty good. He's down a significant amount of weight. Do you want to see the world's strongest man have one more go around inside the squared circle?
Isn't Mark Henry in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Yeah, so is Edge. But
would you consider
your point?
Would you consider him a Hall of Fame level talent?
Hey man, that Hall of Pain when he won that world championship, that win alone put him in there. We haven't had very many black world champions. We've only had 7. Lashley just became the 7th. You know what I'm saying? We haven't had that many, and especially a black man to hold the WWE. But he didn't have the WWE title. But he had the big gold. My point is, I'd say he is.
So you would say maybe he could start a revolution, maybe around Sunday.
Oh, I don't know. We're about to talk about all that.
Took you a little while to pick up what I was throwing down, but you got it.
I did get it.
You got it.
All right. This day in wrestling, Dalton Castle. He is 35 years old today. Happy birthday, bud. Former Ring of Honor world champion. He actually beat Cody Rhodes for the championship back in 2018. Yeah. All right, fan mail. Brandon, you ready for the fan mail?
See, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Who do you 420? Mates,
Who do you?
Thank you. Mates, how do you feel about Meltzer's awards? I love AEW as much as the next mate, but this is ridiculous. Dave Meltzer, I don't give a damn about, and I don't care about his awards. I know the IWC, they were hot. They were hot. They were not happy.
I know some of them. If you want to rattle off some of the hot ones, then I can see if I agree or not. I know Tony Khan won promoter of the year, which maybe got some people going, but AEW Dynamite has, I think, by far and away been the best show of 2020, and he's the promoter, so you got to give him credit. Whether or not he, is the head booker and does everything, that's another decision.
We have more important things to talk about here than that. Dan, how long should it take for people to make it to the top, or is being in the company for 6 to 7 years the new way to get there?
Literally just talked about that.
We did just talk about that. Boom, we took care of that one. Nigerian Prince. Props to my
Apollo
man.
Cruz? Has it been Apollo Cruz this whole time, or is it like his uncle?
You know what? This guy only hits us up when black people do well. So hey, there we go.
Which has been a lot more often now.
Absolutely. Props to my man Lashley. It's about damn time. Representation matters. God damn it, the wrestling world is being taken over by people like us. Yeah, shout out to Shane Taylor and his group in Ring of Honor, one of the 6-man tag titles. And I think Kenny King just acquired one half of the Ring of Honor tag titles. So something's going on, man. Something's happening right now. Who do you 420?
Who do you?
Lashley. I miss Leo Rush, mates. Put him in the Hurt Business. Let's do it. I'm not opposed to it. He used to drop the AAA lightweight and then the MLW lightweight title, but he dropped those 2.
Working for New Japan, possibly could see him in the New Japan Cup or something or another like that.
Just let him do it. Let it happen. Jack of all trades. Congrats to Lashley. I didn't feel as though he was ready for it all those years ago, but after that run in TNA, God damn it, I've been waiting for this moment. Congrats, Bobby. You earned it. Absolutely, man. All right, who do you 420 again? Wow. He's just coming after it. Oh, you're not doing it again? Okay. Mates, I thought it would. I thought it would be abysmal, but it was decently entertaining. Shaq, we need you full time. We're gonna talk about that. Jack of all trades. Ryo versus Nyla was match of the night. Moment of the night for me was seeing Tully, Arn, and JJ all on camera together. Once a horseman, always a horseman. Hey man, that's true. I've said it on this podcast. Me and my homie Demond, like when we was in high school, we weren't throwing up 2 sweets. We were throwing up that 4. Yeah, right there. Throwing that up. Throwing that up. Oh man, and Bright is the X, and he sent us 5 messages. Are you ready?
Mr. X is bringing in the heat.
Yes. Oh, actually, no, one of them was something else, so he sent 4. Here we go. First of all, congrats to Bobby. That being said, when can we expect a lawsuit? The lawsuit that Miz is going to file to get his title back if he doesn't want, or if he doesn't, what was the point of him cashing in now? Why not have him do it at WrestleMania like Rollins did in 31? It was a more prime opportunity. It was a more prime opportunity. That's the only way I can see it. Can't you say the same?
Yeah, I would say we haven't seen the last of the Miz, unfortunately, in the WWE title picture.
I love the Miz. He is awesome. I think he should have had a longer run. This is just my personal opinion. Onita talking about Kenny and Moxley at AEW. They're going all out, no pun intended, for this match. Yeah, man, Onita, the inventor of the innovator of the death match. Yes, sir. Do you think Vince is watching Shaq in that tag match, going, "What the hell? Why couldn't he do that for us?" Probably. You know,
I wouldn't be shocked if Vince even knew that Shaq was wrestling on Wednesday.
People think Vince is like solely in a bubble, and he is for a lot of things, but I think he has his ear to the ground.
Yeah. I know people tell him, like, if there's something to check out or if something big is happening, I would assume Shaq wrestling a match would be something he maybe not check out, but people tell him he's doing.
Absolutely. I'm digging Apollo Cruz's new gear and confident attitude. My main problem is that because he's tapping into his African roots, that automatically makes him a heel. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make you a heel. I mean, apparently, I guess that is true, you know, because you look at the Nation of Domination, they were quote unquote heels, but they were speaking the truth. I guess when you speak the truth, you're a heel. I guess that's just the way to put it.
I don't think the heat comes from him being African. The heat comes from him being quote unquote royalty and looking down on people.
Yes. There we go. All right. Speaking of all the black excellence, we're just going to get into it. Bobby Lashley became the WWE champion on Monday night, the 3rd African-American man to hold the WWE Championship. We had Rock in 98. We had Kofi in 2019. Here we are in 2021 with Bobby Lashley. Yes, sir.
They did it. I thought maybe they were going to string it out and we're going to get, I mean, especially with what they did throughout the show, kind of having the Miz run away and faking cramps, that we weren't going to get the title change. I said, just put it on Lashley and do what you're going to do at WrestleMania. If it's McIntyre, maybe Brock, I don't know. But I think just getting the title off of the Miz as soon as possible. Lashley was a killer. He, made no bones about it, tapped out the Miz, exactly what it should have been. Now, they didn't exactly turn Lashley face. He wasn't the heel in the situation, but when you have him and the Miz going back and forth, it does put him in a little bit of a pickle. I still am wondering what they're doing. McIntyre beat Sheamus. McIntyre seemingly on the right track to become the new number 1 contender, whether that's a match at Fastlane or they do something on Raw. We shall see. But I think they're setting up the right cards for McIntyre and Lashley at WrestleMania.
Look, man, I thought there was going to be some Chang-foolery, and this was going to be my reaction.
Why would you play games with me?
I was gonna hit that, man. I was gonna tap into that. Like, are you serious? Or why would you do this to me? But they did it. I'm happy for him. MVP. He looked just genuinely happy for his friend and his buddy. Lashley gave an interview with Ryan Satin. And he said, yeah, when I came through the curtain with the title, Vince gave me a hug and said, I'm so effing proud of you. So that's awesome, man. Congratulations to Bobby. He's the perfect guy for the job. Hey, it's awesome, man. As a fan, I'm incredibly happy. As a black man in America, I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. I care so much about this, about the product, the sport of wrestling, and I go to bat for the WWE Championship, and to have a black man hold that right now means the world to me.
And it's not pandering. It was organic. I think Lashley deserved it. They didn't just put it on him because he's black. They put it on him because he deserved it.
Absolutely, man. And with Kofi Mania, like when Kofi won the title, I cried. I'm not gonna lie, I shed a couple tears. Lashley, that didn't happen because my dumbass went on Instagram and spoiled it for myself. But I felt something. Like I just felt joy when it happened. So congratulations to Bobby Lashley, our new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. All right, we're gonna skip the rest of Raw. We're gonna jump into AEW and we got to talk Revolution. So let's get right into it. AEW Dynamite. Jade Cargill and Shaquille O'Neal defeat Cody Rhodes and Red Velvet. Brandon, what were your expectations for this match? And after seeing it, how do you feel about it?
So I said going into the match, I had very little expectations. I didn't know what the match was going to look like because Jade, Shaq, and Red Velvet were all green. I thought Cody was maybe going to work a lot of the match, and they start off with Cody and Shaq. It's like, okay, this is what they're going to do. Cody's just going to bump around for Shaq, and the old wrestle a broomstick, and Rick Rude and the Ultimate Warrior. Shaq's just going to stand in the middle of the ring. Cody's going to run all over the place, but for the most part, that's not what happened. I do feel the correct decision was made, having Jade pin Red Velvet and Shaq. I mean, God bless him. The man's almost 50 years old, and he had one of, I think, the best celebrity matches in history. Now, is it better than what Pat McAfee did last year? Better than Lawrence Taylor at WrestleMania? I need to go back and look.
I think we could say it's better than LT. I think we could say that. I think we can say that. Hey, dude, like Shaq, this was entertaining. I watched it back twice. I watched it twice, man. This was cool. I mean, he beating up Billy Gunn's kids, him chopping Cody, him getting slammed by Cody. I was like, oh, I didn't see that coming. He even did the Brody Lee with the two hands on the head, and he throws him out. He did that before he powerbombed Cody. The table spot. Were you expecting Shaq to take a table spot?
I was not expecting Shaq to take a table spot, and then he just was dead, and now Shaq is a meme. Shaq wrestling is a meme now. Look at that.
Dude, there's something happening in it's something crazy. Bad Bunny's a champion. Shaq is having matches. Bow Wow's training with Rikishi. Dionne Warwick, she's having a Twitter beef with MJF. Like, what's happening, dude? What is going on? Soulja Boy and Randy Orton got beef.
Soulja Boy and Adam Pacitti also have beef. So
Soulja Boy and Alexa Bliss have beef. It's just happening.
Better watch out. Alexa Bliss might curse him. Like
hey,
this God.
This is the most Soulja Boy's been relevant since the Drake meme. Drake. Man, this is great. But hey, dude, congrats to Shaq. I'm sure he had a blast. This was better than expected. It was better.
I think if I'm grading this on a curve, I think I definitely would give this like an A-. Shaq didn't do a whole lot, but I think what he did do, he wasn't terrible. And Jade, she was clunky at times, but she won. I think that's what you want to do. Cody, a little injured, a little shoulder issue. I think, everyone played their parts well. Little clunky, I think, when they setting up the table spot, if I'm going to be nitpicky, but I think overall everyone delivered here.
Shout out to the moonsault that Red Velvet did. That was a good moonsault. It looked very good. Yeah. Yes, sir. I don't like how they cut to Shaq and Cody when she'd hit the spear, though. I'm like, you missed the move. Why would you do that?
I think overall, I don't know how it was on your feed, but I had like a lot of kind of technical issues on this week's Dynamite, which hasn't happened to me. But I don't know if it was a me issue or if it was TNT.
It could have been a combination of things. Pac and Phoenix defeat some people I don't know their names.
Yeah, good for them. I think after the opening match was a little slower, bring in Pac and Phoenix, just kind of, burst of energy, do a little bit of high flying just to get the energy back up, and they get the win. Build them up. They're not in the ladder match, but either in the tag battle royal or I don't know what they're doing, but just keep them on TV, give them a win.
Absolutely. We have the Inner Circle press conference. We see some dude from, what was it, Barstool Sports. We see Turkey Tits, a.k.a. Conrad Thompson, the king of the podcast. And, of course, the man responsible for 83 weeks of dominance over WWE, the Bish, Eric Bischoff. Great. It was great. It was a fun segment. And then the Young Bucks come out, and, hey, man, that line, they threw out a diss track. They told MJF like he'd be unemployed living at his parents' house, and they told Jericho, what would you be doing, jerking the curtain at the Performance Center? I was like, oh, they got him. I was like, damn.
I thought overall the promo work was phenomenal. I think that might have been the best promo that the Young Bucks have cut in AEW. Not the biggest fan of, especially kind of MJF degrading him that much, because you don't want to downgrade your talent to be like, if we weren't here and we didn't hire you, you would be nothing. Which I know that can be an argument, and they're just
Tony Khan hired MJF. Like, hold on.
I know, but saying if there was no AEW, you would be nobody. I think that's not the way you want to portray your talent, but it's a babyface kind of dogging on a heel, and MJF has done so much that I think he deserved it. So I think in principle, I would disagree with it, but I think it worked here.
Here's a question. Like, let's say there was no AEW. What do you think, Jericho? Would he be at the Performance Center? Could you see that? Could you see Jericho in NXT?
Jericho would be in WWE. Maybe not right now, but he would be doing sporadic appearances.
I'm saying, could you see him in NXT? Like, just popping up? Like, you don't have to put a title on him. I'm just saying, like, just pop up and do some stuff with some younger talent. Could you see that?
I could see it, especially after what happened in New Japan. He's done everything, and he just wants to be like, you know what? I've never worked with Johnny Gargano. I want to wrestle him. That sounds like fun.
Ciampa versus Painmaker Jericho? What? Ooh, different. This was a really good. I thoroughly enjoyed that segment. Moving on, FTR with Tully Blanchard dripped in some old gold from 1985. They go up against the Jurassic Express, and JJ Dillon, James Julius Dillon, accompanies them to the ring. Dude, this was awesome. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think everything on the show just clicked. I thought it was a phenomenal episode of Dynamite, especially being a go-home show, and the ratings reflected that. They had like over 900,000 people. Maybe they wanted to crack 1 million with Shaq there, but I thought this match was way better than it had any right to be. Tully was out there. He didn't do too much, but what he did matter, and he ends up getting the win, which was a little shocking, but just puts more heat on him. And JJ Dillon being a surprise appearance was a nice little thing. Arn Anderson comes out, maybe planting the seeds a little bit of a dissension between him and Cody. Not saying he's going to turn him right away, but the option is out there. And your boy Shawn Spears returns, and the gang is back together.
I was thinking about him yesterday. I'm like, damn, what's going on with him? And then he pops up. I'm like, hey, there we go. Hey, I like it. I like it. Those guys getting together. Tully, he looked pretty good. Was he like 64? Doing the slingshot suplex. He took a couple bumps. They were graceful, but he took some. I mean, cool, man. People were like, "Oh, you don't want Goldberg to wrestle, but you want Sting and Tully Blanchard to wrestle." Like, dude, like let's calm down. Tully Blanchard
just turned 67.
Really? Okay. I mean, like, he was in a 6-man tag match. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You know what I'm saying?
He was in a 6-man tag match. Did he even take a single bump? I can't remember exactly what he did, but he didn't.
He got kicked in the face by Luchasaurus. That spinning kick that he does?
Yeah, but that wasn't even like a traditional back bump. That was just him kind of
turning
to the side and falling
to
down.
the side. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, he fell down. There we go.
Glad nothing tore. Nobody had any heart issues or anything. So I'm not saying he needs to be wrestling once a month or anything like that, but the feud called for it, and the heels won, continuing FTR being strong. Maybe they are in a title match sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. What else happened, Brandon, as I reply to this message?
Well, as you reply to this message, we had not the Big Show anymore because it's no more BS, baby. Paul White, he makes his AEW Dynamite debut. Tony Schiavone was on the stage to interview Paul White, and he pretty much just said everything we knew already. I think I keep calling him Tully. Tony said pretty much the exact same thing, that he's going to be doing a AEW Elevation show. Big Show pretty much just reiterated that. And then he said he has a scoop because he's a journalist. He says that there is going to be a Hall of Fame level wrestler debuting at Revolution this Sunday. And Tony Khan has doubled down on that on the AEW Restricted podcast, that yes, there will be a big time Hall of Fame level talent, I guess, on Revolution. And I believe there's also going to be a debut / return or whatever mystery person in the ladder match. Now, Phillip, there's some people speculating who it could be. Who do you think this Hall of Fame level talent will be at Revolution?
I don't know. No more BS. Ha ha ha. I thought that was funny. I don't know, dude. I mean, Moxley talked about Christian, and hey, man, Christian, like, it's a Hall of Fame level talent, bro. Whether you want to think it or not, just look at the TNA run, look at the 09 to 2011 run in WWE. I don't know, bro. You threw out Mark Henry, possibly. Batista turned down the rumors. I don't know. I really don't know. Like who's not active right now that could make some big moves in AEW. That's who you have to think about.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, I think, last week that I have very high standards for my Hall of Fame. Now, what exactly does that mean? Is it, a real quote unquote level, like a top tier Hall of Fame person, or like a WWE Hall of Famer? And the Big Show coming in, I think he's a good acquisition. I don't want a ton of ex-WWE people to be coming into AEW. Ricochet did tweet something the other day, kind of being, I love you guys, little heart and peace emoji. I don't think he's going to be wrestling in AEW soon, or at least on Sunday. I know there's no compete, anything like that, but Brock Lesnar is a possibility. CM Punk, I don't think that's going to happen. John Cena, don't think that's going to happen. But we never thought Hulk Hogan would turn and show up on WCW. So, I mean, I think this is something that AEW needs to kind of slow the roll with. If it's not, like, if they don't deliver, like, if it is Christian, I'll be honest, I think that's a little bit of a disappointment.
Well, it would be because, like, people just assume, like, oh, he and Edge are going to have a tag team run, and he pops up over there, like, oh, so we're not going to get that for quite a bit of time? You know what I'm saying?
But when you come out and say a Hall of Fame talent,
well, like, who else are they going to get? Like, who?
I'm just saying, like, you specifically went out of your way to say that type of words. People's ideas are going to be running rampant.
Well, Austin's not popping up. We're not going to see Rock.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you say Hall of Fame, people are going to go to the tippy top. And if it's not someone of that ilk, you're just setting yourself up for failure, I think.
Dude, Ric Flair's going to pop up? I don't know. I don't know, but we're just going to have to wait till Revolution. What is it? Ryo Mizu.
Mizunami.
Mizunami, thank you. I saw Miz and I was like, ooh. She defeats Nyla Rose. People have called her the female Okada because of the way she looks. Hey, this was a pretty solid match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just don't like Nyla losing all like that. I get she's already been the champion and this is our chance to do something new. But Ryo, she's my pick to beat what's her name? Hikaru Shida. I'm automatically picking her because I think it's time for Shida to lose the title.
I don't know if it's time for Shida to lose the title, but I do feel
her run hasn't really been compelling, dude. I mean, what was the last thing she did? That thing with Abandon,
Abaddon.
Oh, just get it off of her and let's let Ryo do some interesting stuff with some other talent.
I feel as though Mizunami. I feel Mizunami winning definitely sets up for maybe not a better match at Revolution, but definitely a fresher match because we see Nyla and Hikaru Shida wrestle. I think too much at this point that just going back to it would have been repetitive.
I mean, let's be honest, man. Britt Baker should have won this thing, and she should be the one. Defeating Hikaru Shida. That's who should have won this thing, but they didn't do that for whatever reason.
I also think Thunder Rosa or Britt Baker should have came out of the United States side.
One of those two, absolutely, man. Because you're going to get to the point with Britt Baker, like we just talked about this. Okay, if she's not the champion, and soon, I'll give it. Where are we at? We're in March of 2021. I give her March of next year. If she has not held the championship at some point in that time, it was a waste of time.
I agree. I mean, Britt, she's been phenomenal. I think she's been, really good. She's surprised a lot of people. In the ring, or maybe not. I mean, in the ring, I think she's gotten a whole hell of a lot better than what she was at the beginning of her run in AEW.
What you could do, you could put it on Mizunami, and then they do Fyter Fest, Fight for the Fallen. Like she wins it in March, she can drop it in June or July because they don't do short title runs all like that, and then have Britt hold it until I don't know, Revolution of next year or something like that. You know what I'm
saying? I know what you're saying. I mean, with Shida, I know maybe we can talk a little bit more about it on the predictions, but if you're going to have her, she's been the champion for long enough to just then lose it to another Japanese woman to where, I mean, this has kind of been what's going on with AEW's women's division. It's just kind of another Japanese woman after Japanese woman where they don't really have a storyline. It's a good match, but then they win and they don't really do anything after that. I feel like, if you have Shida or you have another Japanese woman you want to feature, do something with her. She had the Abaddon thing, which just stunk. But when she had her feud with Nyla Rose, I think she did something maybe with Britt Baker. Like when Sheeta has done things and they give her television time, yeah, her English isn't that good, but keep it short and sweet. And if you're going to have women like that, then, utilize them properly.
Absolutely. Let's finish Dynamite. So Sting has a promo. He talked about the powerbomb he took from Brian Cage. He said it didn't sting, haha, or pun intended, whatever. I forgot that. He said it didn't feel good, but I wanted to use a Sting because of his name. Yeah. And then people come out and fight him, and Darby comes out, and there's a whole brawl. Yeah.
Yeah, very similar to what we've been seeing these past few weeks, but that was good. I think what's Team Taz, what's his guy? I keep wanting to say like Tony Stark, but it's not Tony
Ricky
Stark.
Starks.
Ricky Starks. There we go. See, that was close enough. But I thought he was good on the mic. Sting beats him down, and ready to see what they do at Revolution.
Absolutely. All right. Max Caster defeats 10 to advance into the ladder match. We'll talk about the ladder match more once we get to the Revolution predictions. And the main event was Hangman Page and Silver defeating Matt Hardy and Mark Quinn. Yeah. And then there was a whole brawl at the end of the show.
Because it shows us, this is what a tag team battle royal can look like, folks, because we've never seen that before.
I've never seen a tag team battle royal before.
Pretty sure AEW had, well, I guess AEW had one like a couple weeks ago.
I don't remember. Oh, yeah, that's how Jericho and MJF became the number one contenders. That's right. Yeah. Oh, no. Ladies and gentlemen, AEW Revolution on the Bulletcast Championship is on the line. It is the title in podcasting. So here we go. With all that being said, let's get this started. The Casino Tag Team Battle Royale. Brandon, who wins?
I don't know who is going to win because it sets up, I believe, number one contender for the AEW titles after the fact, which maybe this will show who I am leaning towards. I'm trying to see if I can pull up the card and I can actually get the full list of everyone in the match. I would assume
it's every other tag team besides the Bucks and the Inner Circle.
So just the entire
tag team roster, yes.
The entire tag team roster. Well, that just sounds like oh, here we go. Oh God, that is a lot of people. I kind of want to lean towards FTR, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say Bear Country with the win.
Who?
Bear
Who
Country.
Is that?
Bear Boulder and Bear Bronson, baby.
Oh, I didn't even know these people were employed. Bear Country? Okay. Read me some of those names.
Let's see. We got Bear Country. We got Alex Reynolds and John Silver, Dark Order. We got Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, Dark Order. Santana and Ortiz. Butcher and the Blade. Private Party. Top Flight. Death.
Hold on. I thought Jericho and MJF were the official team for the Inner Circle. Why are Santana and Ortiz in this?
They're the JV squad, I guess.
No. They can't be a tag team. This is what I'm talking. See, they're starting to mess up the continuity.
We got Triangula de la Muerte with Pac and Ray Phoenix.
I'm gonna go Pac and Ray Phoenix. That's
Varsity Blondes. We got the Seidel Brothers, SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian, and Christopher Daniels, I believe, because Scorpio Sky is in the ladder match.
Yeah.
The Nightmare, whatever, Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall, Chaos,
the Natural Nightmares,
whatever, the National Nightmares, the Chaos Chaos Project, which is Luther and Serpentico, so watch out for them. And then finally, we got the Gun Club, Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn versus TBA.
I'm going Pac and Phoenix, so that's my pick. Moving on, Miro and Kip Sabian versus Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor.
I'm gonna go with Miro and Kip Sabian. I know Kip. I think Kip is likely the odd man out in the situation, but with Miro, just give him the win, keep him serious, or maybe they lose and this is how he turns on him, but I'm just going to give him the win.
Yeah, I'm going Miro and Sabian also. I know I've been dogging Miro since he's been there, but I feel like this will kind of put them on the right track. All right, next up we have Adam Page and Matt Hardy going in the big money match. Winner gets like 20% of like their first year quarterly earnings or something like that. Right?
I believe so, and I am going to go with Adam Page. He needs to win. Beat Matt Hardy. I don't care what kind of shenanigans you want to do. Just give Page the win, keep him on the right track so he can be the one to dethrone Kenny Omega for the title. It needs to happen.
I don't want to agree with you, but I might have to do that because I'm trying to think. Like, I think it would be more entertaining for Matt to like lose like that. You know what I'm saying? Like what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? You know, something like that.
I believe. I mean, I
I think
can
the
see.
outcome will be different or funnier if Matt loses. So I'll pick Hangman Page. Moving on from that, we have Ryo Mizunami going up against Hikaru Shida for the AEW Women's Championship. I'm going with Ryo.
And I am going with Shida. I think if you have her for holding the title for this long, just kind of unceremoniously losing it doesn't mean a whole lot, I would say.
Okay. All right, next up, we have the Face of the Revolution ladder match. Winner gets a shot at the TNT title. You have Cody Rhodes, Scorpio Sky, Pentagon, or Penta El Zero Miedo. You have Lance Archer and Max Caster. So, I think Lance Archer does it.
There's also a mystery person in this match. I don't
there's another one?
I believe so. Tony Khan said there's also a mystery person. I'm not going to put my eggs in that basket. I will differ from you, though, and I will go with Pentagon.
All right.
I think Penta and Darby Allin could be a whole lot of fun.
All right, it is the in-ring or the match return of Sting. He and Darby Allin, the TNT champion, go up against Team Taz's Brian Cage and all that Ricky Starks. The obvious thing to do is have Darby and Sting win, but then again, like that continues to diminish Cage and Starks. To lose to some scrawny dude and an old man.
What is this match anyways? Is this pre-taped?
It's a street fight.
Is this pre-taped? Is this in the ring?
I have no idea.
Is this live? I don't know if that really means any difference for the outcome. But Team Taz has been losing so much.
Yeah, so I'm going Cage and Starks. I'm going Team Taz.
Well, you made my choice a whole hell of a lot easier because then I will go with Darby and Sting.
Okay. All right. So Allen and Stinger. All right, next up, it is the AEW World Championship in an exploding barbed wire death match. You have the AEW champion Kenny Omega defending against Jon Moxley. I think Kenny Omega beats Jon Moxley at his own game.
I agree with you. I think Kenny Omega will win. I am a little scared, but yet also intrigued with what they will do in this match. The video package that they did yesterday, I thought was phenomenal. I thought, I think the promo Moxley cut, it really was the peak. So just leave it at that. I haven't seen the countdown show yet, so maybe they added a little bit more to the hype, but I think Kenny wins, but I'm also scared of what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's there's only one way to find out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Superstar Spotlight will take care of after the AEW. Actually, no, Bobby Lashley. Duh. There you go. He won the WWE title. He's the Superstar Spotlight. I think it's only fair.
Bobby Lashley. I'll give it to Bianca Belair and Sasha.
There we go.
Banks. There you go.
Brandon, what's our promo pick of the week?
Well, our promo pick of the week, we're going to go to AWA. Last week I had a Japanese death match. Now we're going to go to an American death match. We have Mad Dog Vachon building a pine box for Jerry Blackwell. 1983 AWA. We get Mean Gene coming into the dog shop, I think is what it's called. And Mad Dog Vachon just no nonsense about it. Just says, I'm building this pine box. You know what a pine box is for, Mean Gene? I think I have an idea. Just very stoic and matter of fact. I think this might have taken inspiration from what Kenny Omega and Don Callis did last week, but this was done a whole hell of a lot better, I would say. It wasn't played for laughs. It was straightforward, serious, and it was building a death match similar to what we're going to be seeing this weekend.
Absolutely. Kenny Omega, take notes. Close match pick of the week, AEW Revolution from last year in the last day of February. It was MJF versus Cody Rhodes. The 10 lashes leading up to it in the cage match with Wardlow, Cody losing an entire toenail, everything. And MJF picked up the dub that night, which that doesn't happen. This is when Cody debuted his tattoo, too. Yeah, so it's been a full year of the neck tat.
And look at what the world happened. Look what happened to the world after that.
Well, no, the world got crazy because Jericho lost the title. That's what happened. I mean, like, he has the classy dream tattoo. Maybe if it was just a little bit smaller, or like on his shoulder or something, then it wouldn't be that bad. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like he literally could have put it anywhere else besides his face, and it would have been better.
Yeah, like you just put it like on the shoulder. That would have been fine. Or maybe
tramp stamp.
Brock has a tramp stamp.
I think all of Brock's tattoos are beautiful.
No, the sword is cool. I do like the sword. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not talking bad about Brock Lesnar. If he gets hold of this, it was all Phillip, not me, Brock. I love you.
Brock and I we'll talk about Minnesota State and Gable Steverson and the season they're having. We'll be all right.
University of Minnesota. Don't get it twisted.
Oh, I'm sorry. We'll be all right. We'll trade war stories from the mat. Yep. But yeah, I mean, Brandon, reflecting on that match a year later, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I thought it was a good match. It wasn't like the big crescendo that I think a lot of people expected it to be. Maybe they rushed this match a tad bit, but it's always fun to look back at this show, Revolution, one of the best shows of the year in 2020. One of the last shows we had with the crowd.
They rushed it. What do you mean? November to February? How'd they rush it?
I mean, November to February. I'm just saying. You could have told a year and a half, 2-year story with MJF being Cody's little youngling. And then he just finally turns on him.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But
Make him wait.
It was one of the best wrestling shows, one of the best pay-per-views I've seen. It was so good, man. Everything just clicked. The setup was awesome. I can't wait to get back to that kind of thing sometime soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Friday, tomorrow morning, my interview with the hybrid athlete Tyson Maddox drops to the world. Tyson, he's been wrestling he's been in the business for about 5 years now. He was on GSW's Inception show. He's been on AEW Dark. He's been referred to as the Deion Sanders and the Bo Jackson of the wrestling game. So yeah, man, he's a great interview. We did about like 50 to 52 minutes. It's awesome. We just chop it up. We've been having a nice little conversation about cheesesteaks and whatnot. So yeah, man, listen to that. It's going to be awesome. Follow us on Twitter at Bulletcast, Instagram, Bulletcast, YouTube channel, Bulletcast, emails Bulletcast2 the number 2, sweetswet@gmail.com. 104.7 FM KAPU, when watchable every Friday night from 11 p.m. to midnight. iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Spotify, Patreon. We're all over the damn place. Brandon, myself, and Cindy will be back on Sunday night for a recap of AEW Revolution. We'll find out who survived the death match between Moxley and Omega. We'll find out if we have a new women's champion. We'll see who is going to be the face of the Revolution in the winning of that ladder match. Stay clean, stay strong, stay safe, stay quarantined. Diamonds are forever. So is the microphone Messiah.
Within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes. We are the elite, and you are the weak. No matter how hard I fall again.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.